All right, good morning, first grade teachers. Today we're going to do a quick sort over your test 14. A question was brought up as to whether Power Standard 2 solve addition story problems is truly at between 50 and 60%. You have some wonderings about that. So we are going to take a look at this specific test and at that specific Power Standard 2. We were going to do a quick sort over Power Standard 2, which means we are going to sort our students' work by whether they have the correct answer, they're almost there, or they don't have it at all. Okay? And then we will discuss our findings. What questions do you have?
By almost there, are we choosing correct answer but no label?
Yes.
Or, okay.
All right, so almost there. The answer is on, but they are not being precise enough.
Correct.
For you. All right. Well, let's begin with this. Go ahead and sort into 3 piles.
This is correct. Right?
Okay. So what do we notice so far with this sort?
The most kids did not. They
Label.
were way out of the ballpark.
Ah. So we have a large pile of children that do not have a deep understanding of addition story problems.
And I feel it could be the way that the question was worded.
Okay.
8 and 12.
When it said the Cardinals
5.
won 10 games and lost 8, that made the kids subtract.
Yeah.
So the question played a part in our results here because we said between 50 and 60% we're getting them right, and on this specific test, it looks like maybe 20%
Right.
got it right. Okay. So this middle pile, they got it right but did not label. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So let's sort one more time. We'll take those out that have it, labeled it, got the correct answer. Let's take a look at the work and see if we don't notice how these kids are solving. All right. So what I'd like us to do is take this pile. We're going to divide it into 3 again. And I want you to pick out a few student pieces that interest you or intrigue you or you have wonderings about, okay? I want you to pick out 2 or 3 and then share out what you're noticing with the whole group. I took a look at those that did get them right, and it was really fun to see the different strategies being used. We had 2 that used the number line and counted up and made sure to label. You had 1 using base 10. Cheyenne used base 10 to show that she understood this story problem. Zoe used tally marks. That was the only one I saw using tally marks. Blake Hudson used circles, but were able to come up with the correct answer. So maybe not the most efficient way, but still got the right answer. Oh, and Jersey did the circle also. But counted on from 10. I guess that's what she did.
Yes.
And then you had a few that are ready to rock and roll with, I'm just going to do a horizontal number sentence, 10 plus 8. So, fun to see different ways of solving. But we'll start with Tracy. What student work would you like to share with the group as to?
Well, I separated mine into 2
Okay.
things. the ones who consistently subtracted and all got the same answer. So I knew that they were all kind of the same thought process. And this one did, like Abby did, the unknown number, the boxes strategy. That was kind of cool. And then these ones, these two, like 13, she did circles and she obviously didn't count them right, which would lead to her impulsivity, because I know her. And then Cole, I don't know what he did, because he got 12 from 10 and 8. I didn't take the time to look at his countings, but he got 12. He wrote 12. See, he did the 10, subtracted 8, and then it looks like he added that 2 again to the 10. So really needs some help, and these two are organizational. And then these ones just need to know the operation. They needed to understand the question better.
So Tracy, after your sort, what might you bring back to the classroom, or how might you address what you're noticing here?
I would tell the story differently. Because at this age, I think that they're a lot more visual. Like, all of these kids also did circles or dots. They're all being visual, except that one, most of them. I would tell the story a different way and maybe make it more of a picture so that they can see, you know, that they're playing all these games together.
Okay.
You know, instead of taking the lost, figuring out a way to take the lost part out of the language.
All right. So the question was confusing, and when we come back around next year, you already know you're going to make sure they see this question differently through use of visual.
Ideally.
What if you were to go back to your classroom today and address these two different piles? How might you do that?
I would show it to them today. I would show it to them and say ask them what they think
Okay.
and what they see, and get some more ideas from them, because one or two will see it, and then to hear it from their peers, I think they hear it more from their peers than they do from
So
me.
you would take this whole group, would you do it whole group or small group?
I do it whole group on the document camera
Okay.
without showing the name, you know, and reread it and see if we could get any ideas, see where their thought process is. Maybe ask one of these, because it's been a little while since this test was given, see if some light bulbs have come on.
Yes. Thank you. Sunday, what did you notice in your pile?
I did what Tracy had done. I went through and I found the ones that they had the labels, but they did the wrong, you know, they subtracted instead of adding. So there was 1, 2, well, this one, there were several that subtracted, but, well, there were 2 that had the actual label, but games. They did 10, take away 8. And this one, Levi did the same thing, but no label. This one, I'm not sure what they were. Was that Clara? Carmela. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
And then Blake used the number line and showed 18, but did not put games. And then the other ones were, what they wrote didn't make any sense. 8, take away 10, and then there's a 2. Yeah. Does Christopher sit by Elise, or did he?
No,
Same number, answer 2.
same level of performance.
2 games. Oh, okay, what they did 10, take away 8. Oh.
So would you treat this pile all the same, or would you be able to sort that into 2 different
Yeah,
piles?
you could sort it into 2 different piles.
Into 2, and how
yeah.
might you go back to your classroom and address the issues you've noticed?
Well, I think a lot what Tracy said, but just maybe doing more examples of when the difference between and when you need to add and subtract. You know, the wording might you know, well, I would try and teach my kids when you hear all together, you know, you're in a group, you know, group like bring it all in. And, so I would, you know, do similar to what she did, so.
Sorry.
So stress some of the clue words in the story problems to help them develop a plan of solving.
Right, yeah.
And Wendy, what'd you notice?
My pile mostly had where the kids were on the right track, just forgot labels,
Oh.
or an answer, but had at least a number sentence that matched what the problem wanted. But I picked out two, they had multiple strategies on there. I thought that was kind of interesting, that knowing these particular students, especially Wyatt F., he knew the answer right away. But then knowing that we have to show our work, did a couple more strategies just to show,
Oh.
so.
That is, so he knew the answer, and I've got extra time on my hand. Wyatt showed about 3 different. But he got it wrong because Wyatt forgot to label.
Yes.
So looking at this, going back into your classroom with this data, real time, what would you do?
Encourage the box it strategy more as an everyday practice, circling and boxing the important information so that it's standing out to them to include their label or unit.
Well, thank you for the quick sort, and let's hope we